Hey guys, it's Vlad from Trader Foundation, and today I have Felix here, one of our great clients. Now, he's actually a banker who decided to really make a shift in his life and get some financial freedom. And now he's able to make crazy gains, such as $1,600 in one day, not too long ago, and he's still in the course. So first, I want to introduce Felix. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Vlad. Thanks for having me on, bud.
No problem, no problem. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your background is?
Sure. Well, like you said, I've been in finance and banking for the last about 10 years.
Mhm.
I've got an extensive background in sales and service going back close to 20 years at this point, from cell phones to door-to-door sales to banking now. So I've been in the rat race, so to say, for a while. And the finance kind of stuck around, but I always noticed that I was dealing with other people making a lot of money versus myself. So I wanted to kind of make a shift, so to say. And I saw one of your posts a while back, and it kind of intrigued me. So I just kind of got to started working with you and seeing what potentially was out there. But I didn't really have much experience in this side of finance besides just the usual banking suite of products itself.
So let me ask you, I know you were in banking, and I hear a lot of people actually recently coming to me who are bankers. Now, a lot of our perception could be that you're in banking, you're in finance, you know how to make big gains. But it seems to me that that's not really the truth. Can you tell us a little bit, like, what's the difference? Why do people feel like that's the case, but it's really not?
Yeah, banking, basic banking or credit unions or whatever you look at, they don't they don't look at ways to expand money aggressively, so to say. It's
Mhm.
really just a matter of bringing in clients' money so that the bank itself can make money by making loans or investing the money themselves. So on our side, we're just bringing money in to collect for the bank to go ahead and outsource and make money on that side. But when you're in banking itself, you don't necessarily, if when you're on the platform side of banking, you're not really taught the investment side of it. We do have investment bankers that we refer our clients over to,
Mhm.
but they're again, they're kind of presenting basic products for retirement. It's not something that's really going to open up your financial world, so to say, from the beginning. It's really stuff like what you're teaching that gets you to that avenue versus just going to traditional banks.
And what do you think is the biggest difference as far as that? Like what as far as what I'm teaching, what is it that really makes it more profitable than say banking or anything like long term that you've learned?
Yeah, well, banking, when you go to meet with a financial advisor, they kind of sit down with you and they evaluate what's called your risk tolerance. So they know they're looking what the market does and what it averages,
Mhm.
and they're telling you, hey, depending on how much risk you're willing to take, we can make you 5 to 6% returns, or we can put it into something where you're not going to lose any money and you'll only make maybe 1%, things like that. So it's nothing that's going to be too risk averse or too much of a gain, so to say, on it. So it's very much capped because you're limited to whatever products are out there by these companies that let you make a certain amount of money. So there's always going to be a little bit of a ceiling that you don't really get past too much, so to say. So they're looking more to mitigate their risks and mitigate the bank's risk. So they're not looking to put money into different types of options or do any type of swing trading or anything like that. They're not looking at those strategies.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what results have you had working with us?
Really, kind of quickly within the first month or so from working with you, I was able to kind of get a much better understanding of how to read stock charts, how to read trends and patterns.
Mhm.
And that led me to, at first, just doing minor paper trading and all that stuff. A couple of like $200, $300 gains. I was like, oh, this is exciting. When I really started kind of dabbling into the options side of it is when I started seeing much bigger gains. That's when I had with American Airlines. I had a $1,600 win in a day. I had a $2,400 day overall doing options and stocks combined. And since then, it's just been a lot more average and consistent gains, well above $500 to $700 per day.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty good. So, what do you think gave you that result? Like, as far as learning this, like, which part of it really kind of resonated for you?
For me, the most important thing was looking at the key factors of what a stock is going to do before you jump into options or spreads or anything like that. Having the basic understanding. which I really enjoyed about your course because you hammer so much of that at the beginning that you really don't have a choice but for it to stick with you. So
Yeah.
looking at momentum indicators, looking at volume, looking at MACD, all of those key indicators that tell you, hey, this stock is projecting to do this based on the history, and looking at the indicators, you have a much better idea and understanding of what each stock is going to individually do. And that lets you make a much better informed choice about what you want to do when you're playing that stock to either move up or move down, be it on options or just buying straight stock or spreads.
Hmm. Now, I know you told me that you've watched some YouTube videos and did other things.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference? Like, what made you finally make a decision to invest in yourself in personal coaching?
I wanted to change. I mean, on the personal side, I have a daughter and she's growing up, and I want to be able to provide for
Beautiful
her as
daughter, by
best
the
as I can.
way.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's 4 years old. She's starting kindergarten this year.
Hmm.
Um, so she's amazing. And I just, as parents, we always want to do better for our kids. Like I understand now what my dad did and sacrificed to get me to the point where I am, and I want to do that for my daughter. You always want your next generation to get better and better. So I knew that, doing it the way I was, yeah, there's some success in it, but there's always a certain level that I don't feel like I can kind of get past doing it the way I was doing. Um, so for me, rather than, all right, well, let me take a look around and see what other job I can get into. I started really investing in myself by taking your courses and by starting my own business also on the side, just kind of gambling on myself, so to say, or placing a bet on myself saying, hey, I'm going to make a success of this one way or another. So that was the biggest factor for me, is just my family and being able to provide and be a better provider overall.
Nice. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I have a daughter myself, same age as yours. So I
Yep.
know exactly what it is to get that next legacy piece going. So that's awesome. So who do you think is a good fit for something like this?
Man, I tell you what, I mean, if I can pick it up, I don't see why anybody wouldn't be able to pick it up. It's the concepts are there. You simplify them in a way where it's very much relatable to everyday stuff and understandable. I mean, like I said, I'm in banking, but I didn't have an extensive background in investing besides just like 401k or putting money aside. Basically, what everybody tells you: put money in an IRA, put money in a 401k, which is fantastic for long term. Don't get me wrong, that's definitely a way to go. But when it came to trying to make sound investment stuff for actually making money, I took a lot of losses. Chasing penny stocks or going after, oh, this big company just had a big announcement that they're going to do this, and you put money into it, and 2 weeks later, you're a couple $1,000s in the hole or a couple $100s in the hole. You're like, well, what the hell happened?
Happen.
So, yeah, learning the psychology behind what you told, behind looking at what the market does and why it goes up and why it goes down, and supply and demand, and relating it made it stand out a lot more to me. So I think if I can pick up on these concepts, being such a novice to it, I think pretty much anybody can step in and have maybe not massive, giant, life-changing money changes right away, but over time, yeah. And I think anybody that puts in the time and effort to do so, to learn it, can have success pretty quickly.
Awesome, awesome. Now I know you had a few hesitations to do this. Obviously, it's a big step. It's a big step, and a lot of people are afraid to invest in themselves. What would you tell somebody why they should take action now as opposed to waiting?
I've wanted to do this for years. I remember when we first had the conversation, I told you that I've been thinking about doing something like this for at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And I waited and waited and waited, and really it was just, well, I've got money in the bank. I need to just leave that alone and just kind of keep going through the cycle and building up slowly and slowly. The more you hesitate and the wait, you're only costing yourself time. You can't get time back. You can always get back money if you make sound decisions, but you're never going to be able to reinvest or regain that time that you've lost just waiting. So I think if you're really thinking about it, sit down, weigh the pros and cons, look at it, and kind of make the assessment yourself and make the decision whether or not this is something you want to do. Is taking a chance on yourself and believing in yourself that you'll be able to succeed. I think you put the tools in place for anybody that if they follow the program and if they're committed to it and believe in it and believe in themselves, they can do it. It's just a matter of taking that first step. And that first step is scary. I get it. I mean, I've been there. I have people depending on me. So if I don't make it, they suffer for it. So I can't I can't let that happen. And that's one of the driving things behind why I wanted to do this is I knew that, all right, if I take on this challenge, I'm gonna succeed because I have people depending on me. It's not just me. So that was a big motivating factor for me.
Awesome, man. And I'm glad you took the action. I know a lot of people, they just kind of think they do it and they ponder and they never do. So that's awesome. And what areas of your life has really improved since then?
I've gotten a lot more time.
Mm.
Uh, Funny enough, because we just talked about wasting time and hesitating and all that stuff. Being able to take on the program and seeing how you can make this succeed within your available time frame and your time schedule, all of a sudden that opens up more time for you because you see, all right, I can do this for this many hours a week and it'll gain me this many returns or this many results on average. That means that now I don't have to be at the other job so much or focusing so much on that for that many hours. It's something that it allows you to open up time to spend with your family, and take your daughter to the park or take her to go get ice cream more often, things of that nature, or spend time with the wife. So it's funny that you're worried about losing time doing it, and then you actually end up gaining time when you start to successfully put these tools and these ideas and concepts into play.
Awesome, man. And how long does it take you to trade for the week? How many hours do you actually spend?
I mean, realistically, there's usually 2 big days throughout the week. I'll usually do Tuesdays and Thursdays, where those are my heaviest days trading, and I will probably be about an hour in the mornings and maybe 2 hours at most in the afternoon, kind of analyzing on those days. So that's 2 days, it's 6 hours. I probably don't spend more than 8 hours a week doing this stuff, and that's on a heavy week. If things are really kind of moving up and down, I have to change strategies.
All right. So not too bad, man. I mean, you got 6 hour work week. I could take that. Not a
Right?
problem.
Of course.
That's awesome, man. So what's your number one piece of advice that you would give for somebody who's trying to attain financial freedom?
Wow, it's really just to believe in yourself and to take the chance on yourself. Um, there's nobody. I've always been told nobody's going to work harder for yourself than yourself. So if you have something that you're trying to build, if you have something that you're trying to push and work towards, you have to put in that effort, and you have to be the one that says, all right, let's go ahead and start and do this and move forward with it, because nobody else is going to take your hand and kind of gift you, so to say, that opportunity and that chance. You have to make it happen for yourself. And it's like I said, it's not something that's easy to do, and you're going to struggle. I've had plenty of days where I'm like, oh man, I made the wrong call on that, or God, I totally saw that going one way and it went the other way. But the great part is that you get to learn from it. You look back, and if you set a plan in place, you can look back and say, oh, where I didn't see that, or I didn't see this, and you get to learn and grow from it, and you minimize those mistakes more and more as you move on. So the more invested you are and the more time you put into it, the better and the easier it becomes to make actual life-changing returns and gains on this.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. It sounds like you really took a different shift to this. I mean, and it's crazy because anybody would think that a banker would kind of have all the answers. We come to the banker to make the money. So the
Yeah.
world has definitely shifted. It's no longer you have to call anyone. You could do everything off your phone. So that just shows how powerful it is. So let me ask you. I mean, where can people find you if they want to kind of see what you're up to? Do you have any YouTube channel or anything like that people can find you on?
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm a big proponent of social media with my job. I actually run a sports media company on YouTube, so I have links throughout YouTube. It's Ace Run Productions on YouTube, and we primarily film a sport called disc golf, where we literally travel throughout the U.S. filming professional tournaments. I'll be leaving for a couple of weeks actually coming up, and I'll be on the road primarily most of the rest of this year, covering that sport. But I'm on Facebook. You can look me up by my name. It's Felix Vega. I also have Ace Run Productions on Facebook. We're at Ace Run Pro on Instagram and Twitter. So we're always putting up something about, traveling where we are and putting up fun clips of the stuff that we do while we're out there. So.
That's really cool. And guys, if you're once you get into this program, financial freedom is obviously going to happen. This is the next step for financial freedom is disc golf. If you never tried it, definitely check it out. I've watched his clips multiple times. I'm amazed how a heavy frisbee could be thrown inside a net. I mean, the thing's it's insane. So definitely check that out, man. Felix, I literally, I mean, I'm shocked at how well you're doing. Honestly, it's just how fast you've done it. You're still kind of finishing up class, and you're already doing so well. So I'm very proud of you, man. I definitely appreciate your time as well. Thank you so much. And hey, good luck with your daughter. Good luck with disc golf, and good luck with your stocks today, man.
Thanks so much,
Thank
bud. I
you so
appreciate
much.
it, buddy.
I wanted to give you a little update on Felix now. That was a few months ago that this happened. Now he's actually officially quit his job. He's spending all his time traveling around the world playing disc golf, teaching disc golf, and also came up with his own brand, which is what he always wanted to do. He also just had a daughter daddy dance, so he's spending a lot more time with his daughter. And it's just a pleasure to see somebody like him. And I've known Felix for a long time. Just to see him transition to what he has going on right now. He's always smiling, always happy. It's beautiful to see. And the way he started was with one of our webinars, and that's what I recommend you start with as well. So if you're interested in getting one-on-one mentorship or just learning my 6 simple steps on how I trade every week to make profits, all you got to do, go in the description, click on the link there. It will give you a chance to see how I teach, what I do to make money, and also you'll be able to replicate the same thing as well. So definitely check it out, and I'll see you there.